Herlish, welcome in. This is the Car and Bike Show on the NDTV network. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Patalkar, and with me is the BMW X3. Now, this is a car that we're all waiting for in India, and I can now finally confirm to you. I tweeted about it a few days ago, so I know some of you know this already. It arrives by June, and that's when it starts. BMW starts the assembly operations on this car in India. So after the X1, this is going to be the next big volumes driver for the company, which means you can expect pretty aggressive prices. So more on the X3 in just a bit, but also to tell you where I am. This is, of course, the BMW Welt. We've brought you here before on the program. So part of the headquarters here at BMW in Munich. We're here for the annual accounts conference, and there's some interesting information that we managed to source from the company on what's going to happen in India besides the X3. So let's get on with it and bring you that. I'll come back to the X3 in just a bit.
Once again, the world press converged on the BMW Welt to meet the company's top brass on its financial performance and the way ahead. CNB decided to attend this year since the Indian market is more relevant than ever before, and coming back to the BMW headquarters in Munich is always fun. Whether it's stepping into the architectural marvel, the Welt, or gazing at the four-cylinder building.
We see very good growth this year. We've increased our dealer body during...
But inside it was business as usual, and we were particularly keen on knowing more about the India plans.
Mr. Robertson, Dr. Reithofer mentioned in his speech that the second generation 1 Series arrives later this year. Has the development of the car taken into account emerging markets, and do you see potential from sales point of view in India?
Substantial growth in the last 12 months in India, around 70+%, of which we're delighted with that performance, particularly being the market leader. We continually look at what models would be appropriate in that market, and it would be fair to say that as the market has grown so substantially, we will look at other models that could be introduced. At this point in time, there is no definite plan for that, but I wouldn't rule that out in the year ahead. Moving on to 1 Series, absolutely. 1 Series is a world product. It takes into account emerging markets, mature markets in exactly the same way as all of our products. And again, we are always looking to see how markets develop, to see what is possible.
So by the end of 2012, BMW will hit over 40 dealers in India. And this means many more cars driving in, which is why we have it on good authority that BMW is considering a second plant by 2015. And capacity by then would have crossed 30,000 units a year. Wow, right? Now, board member in charge of marketing and sales, Ian Robertson, who you just heard from, spoke to us for more.
It's been an ongoing thing as far as us in India are concerned. We keep asking, when does BMW take that next even bigger step? The current expansion that's on, how far does that take you in time frame senses to meet the demands that you expect from India?
Well, we've moved up from just over 3,000 cars to just over 6,000 cars in a relatively small period of time, 12 months to be precise. We took a decision earlier this year to take our production capacity now up to 10,000 units, and that will be done over the next few months. We have introduced the X1 into the market before Christmas, and I think that's done exceedingly well. We're now looking at whether we can increase the X1 production, and we'll bring the X3 into the market towards the latter part of this year. So from our point of view, the Indian market is developing quickly, will continue to do so, and we see good growth in the future. I think beyond the 10,000 capacity, we will be looking at what happens during the next 12 to 18 months. And then I think you can say with absolute confidence, we would take the next steps to increase that even further.
And when you say increase that even further, what are the options that you'd look at? I mean, I know that there's already consideration for a second shift at the current Chennai plant, but what about beyond that?
Clearly, the land that the plant occupies has sufficient area for expansion as well. But I think we will need to take this step by step as we see the market developing. And I think the market situation has reached almost a tipping point now where we could see rapid accelerated growth that maybe hasn't been there in the last 3 or 4 years. So we're very confident that the market will grow, and as such we will also expand our dealers into other cities where we're currently not present.
All right, the reason I asked about the cars like the 1 Series is because there's also been a lot of talk over the last few years, and I know even at the conference last year about subsequent introduction of the Mini brand taking the overall group presence in India to a larger level as well. So all of this ties into that.
Yeah, it does. And when you reach a sufficient volume, then you can have more opportunities and more chances to bring a wider product range into the marketplace. Not forgetting, of course, that the X1 is part of the 1 Series family. Sure. So I think that was an appropriate car for the market. It's proving to be the case. As just a few weeks ago, we were looking to increase our original plan volume for 2011 on the X1 because of the increased demand that we're seeing out of the market.
Mm-hmm. My last question about government policy in India. I know it's something that perhaps used to worry you, now you watch it closely. There has been a little bit of an upheaval right now over the definition of CKD, but leaving aside specifics like that, the long-term vision that the Indian government talks about, where it talks about looking at a greater local industry and also hybrid and electric vehicles. This is the first time that we've seen a policy move from the government side saying that, look, we are now open to incentivizing the use of such vehicles. Does that excite you? Do you think that there is now a glimmer of hope that, all right, here's a market segment that could open up in India?
I'm sure that type of market segment is going to open up right across the world, and it's a matter of time in many markets compared to others. But we've embarked on the I products and the i3 and the i8 with a world market in demand. And from that perspective, I think India can be included in that in the same way as any other market. Taking your point on the definition of SKD, I do hope that over the next few weeks we will get more clarification on that definition, and that will be in the interests of OEMs such as ourselves, but also in the country and the society as a whole. And I think there are some logical steps that we can all take to the benefit of all parties.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone, fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.